let's work on this rank now. Okay. How do we rank data? How do we rank data? So when ranking data, you need to supply, you can use the rank.equal function, or use, look at it, when you want to rank, if I say equals rank, it will give me the option of rank dot, let me show you, rank.avg or rank.equal. Okay, what's the difference? If you use rank.equal in a situation where there's a tie like this, you can see 94-94, it will give the two participants, entities, will give them the same value. Okay, so you can see that this is first, second, third, fourth. So because of this tie, there's no fifth. 6, 6, 6, and then ninth. Why? Because we use rank.equal. Okay. But if you use rank.avg, it doesn't do that. Instead, where there's a tie like this, it will give them the average. Now, normally this is supposed to be the fourth and the fifth person. 4 plus 5 divided by 2 is 4.5. So it will give each of them 4.5. Okay. But the rank.equal is the more standard method. Okay. Okay, so now how do we compute these ranks? You just say equals and see the formula here. But if I not, let me just delete it so we do it again. So say equals rank dot what?
Equal.
I want to be sure we are following. Rank dot equal. Now it's asking for one number and the reference, right? Now you click on the number.
Yeah.
This is the first number here.
Then the whole of the
comma.
The whole of the scores.
Yes. Then you take the whole, highlight the entire of all the scores, and that should be what? Absolute reference.
You included the mean max and the standard deviation.
Oh. Thank you.
Mr. Foster, please, that's where you use the absolute reference,
Yeah.
kindly explain the, the P4, we don't have absolute reference there.
Which one?
Please,
The
B4, we do not have absolute reference there.
Yes.
Then, yes, subsequently we have absolute reference. So please, can you please explain why we do not have absolute reference on B4?
Okay, I think the best way to that I think I can explain that is to first remove the absolute reference so you see the effects. and then we'll come back and put it. Let's just see what will happen when we don't use that absolute reference. Descending or ascending. Descending will mean. Do you think this is, we need descending order or ascending?
This one is ascending.
Ascending.
Sorry, is it ascending or descending? It's descending.
Descending. Or you could
Descending.
use the default, but it's descending.
Use the default 0.
Yeah, the default is 0. Or if you don't put anything at all, you still use default of 0. Okay. So let me explain something now. If I do this, now we are not using the absolute reference. You see that it will not be correct. Why? It will not be correct because look at the first one, it got it right. It's selected. Okay, that reference is supposed to be all the values. And see this one stops at the right points. So it got that right. That's the first. That guy took first. Look at the second one. You see it has shifted. Okay, where it has the reference, where it's supposed to has shifted, it's now picking other values. Okay. Let's jump. Let's see like this one. See it has shifted. It's no more picking what you intended to pick. Now going right out of the range. Okay. To avoid that situation, that's why we use the absolute reference. Okay. Because the first value you are picking refers to the adjacent value here. There's no problem with that. That one is supposed to keep updating down. Okay. But for the reference, which is the second item is asking for here, that reference talks about the range of all the scores that you are dealing with. So if you don't fix it with absolute reference, it will keep shifting like that and it will give you a wrong answer. I don't know if that's explicit enough.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. So that's why we have to do that. So when we do that, you see it captures it correctly. When we use the absolute reference. And then I want to believe that the term absolute reference should be, we should all be familiar with that. I think we have done addressing methods, self-referencing methods. Okay, so make it an absolute. Just simply put your $sign like that. $sign before the column letter and $sign before the row number. Okay. The automated way of doing that is to highlight the data and press F4 function key. Okay. So that's how to do ranking.
So what you said now is before we do the ranking, we will do the filtering first before we rank.
Filtering?
No, yes, before we rearrange the scores.
We don't actually have to.
By filtering.
We don't actually have to. If we didn't arrange the scores, it will still have worked. Okay,
yes, but it will not be.
But these ones will be scattered.
It will not be evenly distributed.
Yes, it will not be. but it will still give you the ranks. It's just that the ranks will not be ordered.
Yes. Not be orderly.
Yeah, it should not be ordered.
You now have to sort.
Exactly, to see. Yeah. Okay. So the other type of transformation, we've seen the ranking, we've seen the min-max. The other type of transformation we need to consider is what? The decimally scaled.
Decimal scale.
I want you to take notes of what is important, the main points. Ranking will, assign ranks or position to the data, okay, after sorting it. Min-max transformation will convert the data so that the minimum value becomes 0 and the maximum value becomes what?
1.
1.
1.
And all the values will be what? All the other values, all the other values you have, what will be the value?
All the other values will be in between 1 and 0.
Thank you. That's right. So for the decimally scale score, the decimally scale score is used to bring all values to a range of -1 and +1. Now, when you do decimally scaled scores transformation, it will convert the values so that all the values will then range between -1 and +1. Okay, that is to say, if you have negative numbers, that's where you have minus anyway. Like in our own case now, we're not going to have minus, but no value will exceed +1. The decimally scaled score is computed by dividing each item in the set by 10 to the power of C, where C is the value that brings the maximum absolute value to a value less than or equals 1. Okay, so how do we do that? We just say X, the new value of X, is equals the value we are trying to transform divided by 10 to the power of C. How do we get C? C, you need to know what C is. Just by even by looking at the values, you will know. Now, look at it. C is a value that brings the maximum absolute value to a value less than or equals 1. Okay, so let's go back to Excel so we can illustrate that, right? And then to do the decimally scale scores, we use this formula. Let's go back to Excel. And am I recording? Yeah. Let's go back to Excel, illustrate that. So I want to do minimally scale scores. Sorry, decimally scale scores. Now, when you do that, notice that the values, no value will exceed absolute value of 1. No value will exceed 1. No value will exceed 1. Okay, so what you do is that you look for the maximum value. In this case, the maximum value is 97. So you ask yourself, that 97, what would you use to divide 97? 10 to the power of what would you use to divide 97? So that 97 will be as close to 1 as possible, but not be more than 1. If you divide it by 10, which is 10 to the power of, divide it by 10, will that work? No. Okay, if I say 10 to the power of 1, it will give me 9.7, which is bigger than 1. Okay? Are you following me? If I say, okay, 97
Yes.
divided by,
By 1,000.
if I say divided by 10 to the power of 3, for instance, which is 1,000, it will give me a value that is too far down. Okay? Are we following at all? So the ideal number is
Yes.
100. Is 100, which is 10 to the power of what? 2. That's the ideal number that should be used to divide, okay, the 97, which is the highest, so as to get a value closest to 1, but not greater than it. So in this case, C is 2, so we are going to divide all the numbers by 10 to the power of 2. So here you just come here and simply say equals. You click on the number 97 divided by 10.
97 divided by 10
Power of
raised to the power of 2.
which is like divided by 100. Okay. You copy down that formula. So you see that all the numbers here, no one exceeds 1. They've all been reduced to less than or equals 1. Okay. I hope we are all on the same page. I hope nobody is having issues with these things. Any questions? Any question?